Welcome. This is RiaTalk for real people, where we're always keeping it real about real life. And here's your host, Maria.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Real Talk for real people. Let's talk.
Okay, what are we getting into today?
We're going to discuss the courage to be me. When I was thinking about it, I was just thinking about how, and especially for women, and maybe even for men, but since I've never been a man before, when I think about things from a sociological or psychological perspective, it's generally regarding women. And many times, not just women, but Black women, because I happen to be a woman and I happen to be a Black woman. And I think we have more commonality as women, more than that. It goes beyond race and ethnicity, because it appears to me worldwide, generally speaking, I'm sure there are some exceptions. When we live in patriarchal societies where father knows best, even in 2024, we're not in 1945, 1954 anymore, but pretty much I often have to tell people, my husband and I, we've been married for over 35 years. And we were recently getting a house, not a house, but our kitchen remodeled. And someone referred to the head of the house. I said, there's no head of the house. There are heads of the house. My husband and I are equals. And that takes courage for a woman to say. A typical woman, I suspect, would say, "Oh, you mean my husband?" If I'm going to say something, I would not want to. I would say us, because I always think in the us, not the me, I, my. And I think this is unique to a woman, especially unique to me. I never think of any man above me except for God.
Mm-hmm.
And I never think of any man below me. I think we're walking side by side as equal. Now we're talking back about the courage to be me. Now, let me ask you a question, if you can answer this. And if you don't, we'll move on from there. Why do you think it takes courage to be you? Just your thought on it.
I just think because maybe you being you may make
Not
people.
you, not you. Let me interrupt you. What you, not women in general.
No, I'm
Um,
talking about me.
okay, all
Like
right.
you being you person singular. You
Me,
being.
for example, you would say, uh, this is why I think it, let me do it so I
Okay.
can show you an example of it.
Okay.
Why it takes courage to be me. Because of my personality. I am loud and I love it. And people always, all of my life, people have tried to silence me or to quiet me. I am not quiet. I live my life out loud, bright and shiny. I am bright and shiny in my personality and everything about me. I am bright. I like bright things. And people have tried to change that about me. Don't give me a blue car. You can give me a red car. You can give me a yellow car, maybe even a white car. But I like light colors. My hair is light. My skin is light. I like light colors. And people have wanted to change that about me. And I used to, when I was a teenager, I would say, sing a sad song. Let me be me. I can't be you. I gotta be me. I don't say that anymore because I've corrected myself. I don't need you to let me do anything. I have made a decision that I will be Maria at any cost. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to be someone else. It's about caring less about what other people think and more about how do I want to show up in this world? This is what I mean about the courage to be me. I have the courage not to worry about my weight. I want to be healthy, but I don't need to be skinny. When from my early adolescence, I was curvy. I was thin, but I was curvy. Not testosterone. The estrogen kicked in, and it kicked in hard for me. I'm what they call, and many black women are like this. I am estrogen heavy. Small waist, big, and the bottom big, top big, curvy waist, and I didn't like it. I had to start loving myself. Part of my loving myself was to be okay with how God created me. I'm having no surgery. I'm not reducing anything. Now I want to be healthy as far as the weight is concerned, not what somebody else's idea of what I should weigh, but I want to be healthy. And this is how I want to show up in the world. The way I wear my hair. And I'm not necessarily telling someone else, you got to come through it yourself. I want my hair to be healthy. And I know my hair cannot be healthy with too many chemicals in it or any chemicals. Now I know in our society, like I wear my hair blonde. I've been wearing my hair blonde for 28 years before it was popular. Like, and before it was cool, I lived in North Dakota. I always tell the story. The professor said, let all the blondes sit up front. This is a joke. He was a nice sociology professor. His first name was Robert. I can't remember his last name. But anyway, and I would just sit there, the only black person and the only black girl in the class also. And he says, Maria, you're blonde. Come on, sit up here with the rest of the blondes. Now you can imagine North Dakota, probably all the girls, with some exceptions, but most of the girls that I ever encountered were white and blonde. I'm sure there were some that weren't, but the professor seemed to think that way too. This when he told all the blondes to come up front, that was all the girls in his class, including the black girl Maria. That was so funny. But even that took courage because it wasn't fashionable. We didn't have rappers back then in the 80s. And you know, there was talking about girls, and you see girls being blonde on TV. They didn't have Instagram, Facebook, and they didn't even have what's that music channel?
BET.
Not most certainly didn't have BT, and the first one that came out was MTV. We don't even hear much about MTV anymore. Am I right?
Right.
And I don't want to lose the thought of free to be me, but I've always fought to be authentically me, who I am. Even then, when I wore my hair blonde, I still wore it in the natural style. Like now I wear short because I don't want to put all those chemicals. If I'm going to use blonde to color my hair, I most certainly don't want to put a texturizer or a relaxer in it. That's being free to be me, even in my thought process. How do I want to show up in the world? And, living authentically in a world that often pressures us to conform, to be like this, I'm a woman of a certain age. Oh, you get a little fine line. You better go and get some Botox. I want to tell you something. I have made a decision. I'm never going to get into Botox. I am going to age with grace. I'm not downing anybody else because that's authentically Maria. I have the courage to be me. You have to have the courage to be you. If the courage to be you means having Botox, that's what you want, that makes you happy, that's how you want to show up in the world, bless you, my child. Bless you, my sister. Bless you, my friend. Go on and do you. Again, the courage to be you. I heard, and I'm going to quote, her name is Brene Brown. I love Brene Brown. I've heard her so much. I first came in contact with her on the Oprah show, and she said some very enlightening, encouraging things. And whenever she speaks, she goes very deep. It makes you like a scent in your hall would say, make you say, it makes you think. I love people that makes me think. And this is one of her quotes. She said, courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. That's another thing. When I was in law school, and I was really shocked. I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to law school to be lawyers. The females I'm going to encounter, they're going to be assertive women. But I didn't encounter that all the time. We'd be in class, and the professors was teaching under the Socratic method, and they would make inquiry, ask questions, and there were always males answering questions and talking about either the case or whatever the question was that the professor was presenting. And I would hop in because we're all law students learning, asking questions. And then I noted that I was one of the few, if not the only girl in that particular class. One class when I first observed that was my parts class. And then I started wanting to go get quiet because I was the only girl to be asking these questions. I'm like, hold up. You need to show up. I'm paying a lot of money for this legal education, and I want to know more. So I too have a right to be heard by the professor, to make inquiries, to make sure I'm understanding this statute, this case law, whatever. I had the courage to speak up, speak in your mind, to be seen. It seems like many of the women didn't want to be seen. I am who I am. Like it, they said those who don't like it don't matter. Those that matters like it. It's who I am. But I'm not here to for someone to like me necessarily. I would like to be liked, but that's secondary to me showing up in the world as I would like to show up, to being who I am. I don't want to be conformed to anybody but God, to what God want me to be. And that's what I say for all of us. Some women are by nature quiet. Some men are by nature, they're what we generally call introverts. If that's who you are, have the courage to be you. There's nothing wrong with being an introvert. I always say all the friends I've acquired through the years, most of them have been introverts until they get around me. I'm like, hey, anticipated that I would just be chatting with you, but I'm listening and you are talking. She said, oh, and then it's not just one person. Maria, it's something about you. When I get around you, I think that these people felt free to be authentic, to give their thoughts. They knew I cared about what they were thinking. They knew I respected what they were thinking. Again, when we talk about courage, what do you think about courage? I'm going to tell you what I think about courage, and you can tell me what you think about courage. Courage is often perceived as the absence of fear, but in fact, it is not. This is Maria's definition of understanding. Courage is the ability to walk with the fear, like the Hebrew boy. And they went, and the Bible says three Hebrew boys, they went in the fire. And when they went into the fire, they didn't get burned. They had the courage. They were afraid. When Jesus went to the cross, I know people hear me many times talking about when Jesus went to the cross. When he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, Satan told him that the angels will cast yourself down upon the rock. The angels will catch you before you hit the rock. And Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Jesus was afraid. He felt fear. He was going to be injured in a human body, not in a supernatural body. He was a man. He came in the form of man. And this is what I say, courage is walking with the fear. He said, Father, if it be possible, let this pass from me. And then he paused and said, nevertheless, not my will. See, there goes the courage. That fear is there. If it's possible, let this, whatever I got to go through, let it pass. But nevertheless, if you bring me to it, you'll bring me through it. I want to do a little shout out to my little cousin, Gabrielle Cersei, who had to bury her young daughter, 18-year-old daughter today. And this is take courage to keep standing. And what I say, if he brings you to it, if God brings you to this as his child, this did not take God by surprise. Talking back again about the courage to be you, just said, nevertheless, I'm going to walk with the fear. I'm going to walk with the sadness. I'm going to walk with the unknown. How would my life be? And this is a sidebar. As a mother, how would my life be without my daughter? I got to help her raise her two children, her two little children. How am I going to do it? God, I'm scared. Don't know that I can do this. But nevertheless, I'm going to do it. Walk with the fear. That is courage. Be courageous. If he brings you to it, he'll bring you through it. And do you want to say anything about the courage to be you? It's not easy in this world being authentic because people don't like you when you got a real opinion.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like it when you're not dressing like everybody else. People don't like it when you're not running with the crowd.
I don't have anything. You're on a roll. I don't want to interrupt your role.
But I say to people, take courage.
Mm-hmm.
Walk with the fear. As Christian, I think about, and I was thinking about this the other day. So many other religions, take Islam for example, and I don't know much about Islam, but I was thinking, I had 2 or 3 Jewish people to come to my home recently to do business, and they freely spoke to me about their religion, and they educated me, and I was most appreciative. I like learning new things. But Christians seems to be so scared to tell people that they are Christian and speak your belief based on the scripture. The reason I say that, being authentically Maria is being a Christian. That's who I am. A sinner saved by grace. Sometimes as Christians, we don't want people to know we're Christians because we're scared we're going to be judged because we're not perfect. I thank God for the grace for this born again person. I thank God that now I can have the courage to say, yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I make mistakes. I make bad choices. I don't always get it right in relationship with people. I may yell at somebody that probably didn't deserve it. Oh, you're not acting like a Christian. No, I'm not acting perfect. I'm a human, a sinner saved by grace. But I still will have the courage to be me. In this world of copycat, going with the crowd, remember, it takes courage to be you. And if you don't know who you are, take time to learn, what do I like? Who am I? How do I want to be in the world? How do I want to present myself in this world? And I don't want to be scared for the world to see me. This is who I am. Whether you like it or not, I'm here. Just like in The Color Purple, when Whoopi, she said, I may be ugly, when she played, what was the character that Whoopi played?
Seeley.
She played Celie. She said, but I'm here. I thought she was going to say, but thank God. I may be ugly. I'm here. I may be fat, but I'm here. I may be skinny, but I'm here. I may be beautiful at what the world's saying. I'm always afraid that somebody's going to hurt me out of envy. But thank God I'm here. I'm here. I'm able to be seen. Again, it takes courage to be you. So I'm going to say it one more time. The courage to be me.
Okay. Well, that's it for today. Are you living an authentic life? Join the conversation and comment below. Please leave your compliments and your comments on our Instagram account or, again, below. We're growing, guys. You can find this podcast on all podcast platforms such as Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, remember to like, follow, and subscribe to RiaTalk, and we will see you next week.